Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 224 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, a.k.a. the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. It's bad out there. You know that, I know that. We all know that. Wherever you're going out, it is bad. There is a high probability that a stranger is going to mog you with whatever it is you're doing. Someone's going to come on top of you and mog you and embarrass you and make you regret going outside. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. Let me paint a picture, because the adjective bad is very bland. If you happen to be in school right now and you're taking a creative writing course and you use the adjective bad in one of your essays, you're going to be scolded, reprimanded by your teacher, as you should be, because that's not an adjective you want to use when you're writing a school essay. But I'm a graduate, two-time college graduate, one-time high school graduate. So I'm not worried about creative essays, but I do worry about my audience here at Verbal Graffiti. And again, thank you for watching and or listening to Verbal Graffiti. And if you have any friends or family members who are busty and a little floozy, let them know about the B-Man. I'm interested. All right, moving forward. Yes, so let's say we're at Yankee Stadium. All right, mid-April afternoon game. It's the fifth inning. I'm between innings. So I run to take a tinkle in the restroom at Yankee Stadium. And I go in there, and it's a ball game, a good crowd. So there's a line of Johns behind me waiting to use the urinal. You go to the urinal, you wait in the line, you've had a couple tall boys. Actually, you know what? You haven't had tall boys. You've been drinking Busch Lights that are just regular 12-ounce cans because you're a bit of a cheapskate, right? You want to give it to the man. You want to get back at the man. And the Yankees haven't won the World Series since 2009. So you don't feel as though the Yankees deserve your beer money. So what you do is you sneak a 6-pack of Busch Light into Yankee Stadium. Therefore, you don't have to spend $18 on a lukewarm Heineken beer, or maybe you like a twisted tea or a sun, whatever the fancy canned drinks are that you're drinking these days. You don't want to spend $20 on them. So you sneak in your own booze. That's the kind of guy you are. That's the kind of fan you are. That's the kind of, because it's bad out there. It's bad out there in this world where anytime you go outside, you guys spend $18 on a Heineken tall boy that's not even ice cold. So you're not going to apologize for sneaking cans of beer inside your whitey tighties to get through the security to get into Yankee Stadium. So you're in Yankee Stadium. You've had maybe three of your beers already, right? And a couple of let's be honest. You went across the street before the game, or maybe you were in the parking lot that you paid $40 for parking. You get rammed up the butthole for that parking lot. So you're pre-gaming before you're what's tailgating if you're a football fan. So you tailgate, you have some nips, I don't know, tequila, whiskey, whatever you fancy, or you're at the bar, the dugout across the street, the baseball bar, and you're just pounding beers there because the beers inside the stadium are $18. So you're already a little bit sauced. All right, you're a little bit tipsy by the time you already get in the stadium, and you keep the libations. You keep the buzz going by having a Busch Light every inning and a half, and it's the fifth inning, between innings, as I already said. So you got to drain the vein for the first time, and you've been building it up because once you pee after you've been drinking Busch Lights, you're going to have to pee every inning. And so you've held it in as long as you can. The bladder, you're listening to your body. You got to go. You got to go to the urinal, or else you're going to pee yourself in these $75 baseball seats that your sister was so nice to buy the tickets because you're a scoundrel. You don't buy your own baseball tickets. You allow others to buy you baseball tickets. Again, when they're sneaking bush lights into a baseball stadium, there's a good probability that someone else bought the ticket to get into the stadium for you. And again, this is not me. This is just a generalization of how bad it is out there for all of us. So you're in line in a urinal, and again, it's a baseball game, a day game. Yankees are winning 5-4. So there's a long line. You're in it. There's people in front of you. There's people behind you. That's what a line is, especially at the restroom. And it's moving because we're in the men's line. So most people are using the urinal to take a tinkle because everyone's drinking beer at the game. And you get through the line, and then you finally get into the restroom. You can see the urinals, and you're kind of judging the people in front of you. There's some kids, there's some adults, and you don't have the choice of what urinal you're going to get to use because you're going to have to use whatever one opens up when you're the first person in line. But there are ones you'll want, and there are ones that you don't want. The guy... Anytime there's a guy in the urinal with his head up against the concrete and he's holding himself with his forearm as he's taking a tinkle, that's the person you don't want to. You don't want to be in the urinal next to that guy. That's a bad situation. That's a guy who could barely stay upright. Pretty good chance that his aim of his pee is not going to be. How shall I describe it? He's not going to be a special force in Iran. He's not a Navy SEAL with the direction of his pee. It's going all over the place. He's not hitting the target. You don't want to be next to that guy. Thankfully, all to his left and right are taken. Our urinal opens up. It's between two normal overweight Americans. That's what we are in America right now. We're all overweight because we eat cheese doodles and Lay's potato chips before going to bed. So you go up to the urinal. You unzip your jeans or your fly or whatever. You take out your cock. Right, that medium dick boyfriend cock, not big, not small. No one's gonna. It's forgettable, but you take it out and you try to pee. Right, you're trying to get it going. And normally you have stage fright. Normally peeing with a line of men behind you is problematic because you get stage fright. At least I know I do. Maybe you do as well. Again, this is not a personal story of mine. I'm just painting a picture of how bad it is out there in this world. And now we're in the restroom at Yankee Stadium. Again, all hypothetical. All hypothetical. But in this instance, you tailgated the game. You've had 3 bush lights. Maybe you had a couple other nips that some other family members and or friends provided to you in your row, at your seat. So it's easy for you to get the pee going. But then you look to the left and the right of you, and you're not looking at the other friends. You're not looking at their penises because that would be gay to do so, and you are not gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And even if you are gay, I believe that's the unspoken rule. Gay or straight, you do not look at other men's penises at the urinals next to you when they're in use. So you're keeping your eyes forward. Again, unspoken rule, a proper protocol in a restroom, public restroom that is, and you're peeing. There's an issue though. The pee is coming out. It's perfectly fine. If you were at home peeing alone, there'd be no problems. But again, we're out there where it is bad. So you're peeing. Let's say you're 41. Maybe you're 42 now. Hell, maybe you're a little younger. You're in your 30s. Maybe it doesn't matter your age. There are 2 younger men peeing to the left and the right of you. And you notice, not with your eyes, but with your ears, that their flow is so much stronger than yours. And it's distracting your pee and your manhood, your confidence shudders, collapses, because even though you're peeing the best you can pee, you're pushing. You're doing that Kegel, pushing the pee out as fast as you can. Or you have probably over 6 beers in your bladder that you're getting out of your pee hole right now. And even still, the guy to the left and the right of you, who are not athletes, they're overweight, but they're a little younger than you, their stream has such more strength and power and veracity to their stream than yours. It makes you question your manhood. This is the strongest pee you've had this season, this baseball season. You haven't peed like this since the last time you were drunk. And it feels good to pee, to get it all out of you, but you can't get it out of your head. The sound of the more manly, faster, quicker, powerful streams to the left and the right of you that are taking place at the exact moment you're peeing. And it hits you. These two gentlemen to the left and the right of you, peeing at the same time at the urinals beside you, are mogging you with their stream. That's how dangerous it is out there in this world. You can't even pee in a public restroom without getting mogged by the stranger to the left and the right of you peeing. And they probably aren't even trying to mog you. That's that's how dangerous it is out there, though. That you get mogged in the most vulnerable positions when you have there's no fight. You can't fight the mogging in a public restroom. All right, you can't just start peeing on them. You'll get arrested. It'll cause a scene. You have to take the mogging like the little man that you are, barely half a man. Dwarfs are laughing at you. So you finish your tinkle. Obviously, they finish theirs before you because they pee much faster and much more proficiently than you do. So there's already two other gentlemen to your side. So you pull your fly up, you wash your hands, you do it all with your head down, and you can't enjoy the rest of the Yankee game, which they probably win. Let's say they win 7-6. It was a good ball game, but you don't enjoy it. Yeah, it was, high 60s, a little bit overcast, no wind, just a perfect mid-April afternoon ball game. But you can't enjoy it after the fifth inning, even with your buzz, because you drink the other 3 Busch Lights, of course, that you have left. You can't enjoy it because 2 strangers in the public restroom between innings mogged you with their stream. If you can't go to a public restroom without getting mogged by 2 strangers who say nothing to you, how can you go outside? How can you go outside and have any confidence? I can't. You know what I did this weekend? All right. I did a lot of gooning. We'll talk about that maybe in the next segment, maybe next episode. I have a lot of opinions about Angie Faith, and the people on the internet who also goon did not agree with my opinions of Angie Faith. We will get into detail about that at a later date, later episode, maybe later this episode. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm still putting my feelings about getting ratioed on the internet. I'm still putting those emotions together. I don't know. But I also watched an hour documentary about Mr. Clavicular. That's what I'm doing at 41 years of age. I'm watching documentaries about Mr. Clavicular. I call him Clavicle. I don't know. I think it's funny. Clavicular is a difficult name for me to say, so I call him Mr. Clavicle. And he everything he does, he's maxing. Looks maxing. I'm sure you've heard of it. I've heard of it. Everything you do is maxing, and then everybody else is trying to mog whatever it is you're trying to max out at. And Mr. Clavicular, that's his philosophy. Some people on the internet during this documentary called him a modern day Nietzsche. I agree. He is. He's doing everything he can to looks max. Is he or is he not the most looks maxing guy out there? There is a guy from Arizona State University, a leader of a fraternity, who outlooks maxed Clavicular, Mr. Clavicle, I believe. I don't know much about that gentleman. There was a short image of him in the documentary. Both looks maxing. Both would probably, without definitively would looks max mog the B-man, which ain't easy to do. even at 41 years of age. But I'm so fearful now of going outside and getting looks maxed, getting mogged by anyone and everyone, that I'm actually at a point now, after watching this documentary, that I'm afraid to go outside and have Mr. Clavicular steal my babe. And you would say, yeah, well, everyone's afraid of that. But the B-man, I don't have a babe. That's how terrified I am of Mr. Clavicular. I'm terrified that I'm going to go outside, run into Mr. Clavicular, and he's going to steal my babe that I don't even possess. That's how much looks maxing Mr. Clavicle is doing. And I'm petrified. I'm terrified of going out there because Mr. Clavicle is out there and he's going to try to mog me with his looks maxing and steal my girl. But I don't even have a girl to be stolen. But that's how much looks maxing Mr. Clavicle is doing. And when Bonnie Blue, when the guys line up to fuck her and they're all wearing a mask, I get it. I get it. Not the fucking Bonnie Blue with the line behind you, because again, I have problems peeing at a urinal with gentlemen behind me. Never mind trying to keep Mr. Penis erect, fuck a babe when there's a camera POV with a bunch of masked men behind me wanting to finish inside of her. But that was last month with Bonnie Blue. But now we're on Mr. Clavicle. Yeah, how can you go outside with your girl if you have one? You're going to get mogged. You can't even piss without getting mogged. Oh, yeah, and I think Donald Trump's also going to put us into war. We're in war, but he raised the age of enlistment to 42, which I'm turning 42 next week. I feel as though that's a personal attack against me. Like, Donnie, gas is $4. Right? There's chaos at the airports. Stocks are down. We're fighting an unwinnable war. Do you know anything about the geography of Iran? Like, get your shit together. Get your shit together. I don't want to hear about how you're raising the age of enlistment to the year that I'm turning next week. I take that as a mogging of me. Because, he's going to try to reopen the draft to the age 42 within the next 6 months. And I don't want to talk about it. Let's move forward. All right, this next one comes from the subreddit. Speaking of getting mogged, this comes from the subreddit Open Marriage Regret. Male 33, female 33. Wife fell in love with another guy. I'm a 33-year-old male who requested to open his marriage with my wife, a 33-year-old as well. My wife was initially uncomfortable doing it, but I actually pressed because I thought it would be kinky, spice up our marriage. We were both intimate with our other partners respectively, and reverse happened. I wasn't feeling it, but I learned about the emotions I felt after having sex with my third party. I wasn't giving her the proper affection and loving on her the way she wanted to be loved on. I spoke to my third party about my wife most of the time. My wife felt like the guy swept her off her feet and thought she would be a good boyfriend in the future. We agreed that if one of us were uncomfortable, we would effectively end the open relationship. I wanted to end it, but she wanted to keep it going and lied to me about their meetups. Eventually, I caught a UTI and I was aggravated and kind of blew my shit up on her. I was unaware that guys could get UTIs. Good to know. All right, moving forward in the post. I honestly don't feel the same about marriage or her because I fucked up and the feelings are different. But I still love her, and we have 2 kids together that are relatively young. I regret opening my marriage and felt I should have sought counseling first. Well, sir, soon to be divorced father of 2, what you did, for an analogy, you opened up the cookie jar. You and your wife, soon to be ex-wife, put your hands in the cookie jar, and your wife pulled out a Girl Scout Thin Mint cookie while you pulled out one of those Toffee-tastic cookies. And we all know the Thin Mints are the best Girl Scout cookies, and all the other flavors are trash. But when you get the Thin Mint, you're not having just one. You're eating the whole rows of them, and then you're ordering more for Scouts the next time you go to Stop and Shop or whatever grocery store you go to. You're fucked. You know you're fucked. There's no more talking about why you're fucked up. Well, actually, we're going to talk about why you're fucked up, but we're not going to talk about being fucked up because you're fucked up. Your life is fucked up. You're going to get a divorce. Your children, who are lovely, allegedly, you and your wife think they're cute. To the rest of us, we're indifferent at best towards your children. We don't know. Let's not talk about the children. But again, you're not going to see your children very, very often, much longer. You'll probably see them every other weekend. You'll drop them off in a Walmart parking lot. You'll have an awkward conversation with your wife and her boyfriend, her boyfriend who's decking her down better than you ever did. Oops, shouldn't have opened that cookie jar. But yeah, the marriage is over. It's just, it's a terrible situation to be in. But why? We all know that. I just described that. Why, though? That's the big question. Why is your marriage about to implode like 9/11 and the towers and have why is it over? Okay. Many men, married men, even just relationship men, want to open up the relationship, but you did it wrong. See, you can't. The reason why, all right, let me just get to it, all right? B-man, get to the fucking point, all right? The reason why this non-monogamy relationship marriage is over is because you treated your wife as an equal. That was a fatal flaw in your plan, and it's why you deserve to get a divorce, have to pay for a lawyer, have to pay alimony, and only see your kids every other weekend. It's all your fault. It's not your wife's fault. It's your fault. You treated your wife as an equal. And because of that, your life, as you know it, is over. And you're going to have to pick up the pieces and rebuild it. And good luck doing that when you think about your ex-wife, when you're trying to fuck the other floozies out there. You're probably not going to find another wife. And again, it's all your fault because you treated your wife as an equal. What you should have done, now what the B-man is here to tell you, the next time you try to open up a relationship and or marriage, is to lean into your misogyny. Right? You're a misogynist. I get it. You're 33 years old. You've been married. You've been with your wife for over a decade. You have 2 beautiful children, allegedly. We're indifferent about their looks and their personalities, but that's neither here nor there. You've been dicking down your wife for a decade now. You're bored of her sniz. She's had 2 kids. Her boobies are deflated. She's got some stretch marks. You know, she's not as good looking as she was when she was 22. Not her fault. Not her fault. She's done the things in life. She's given birth. All right? It's not her fault, but it's not your fault either for being bored with your wife and her sniz. You go through the motions. You haven't been dicking down your wife with the veracity with which a husband should dick down his wife. So that's your fault. Even though you're bored of your wife's sniz, you still got to pipe her. You still got to bring it. Right? You just got to raise the volume. You got to dick her down like it's the last time she's ever going to get dicked down. But you haven't. You've been mailing it in, and you've been mailing it in for years. Admit it. Admit it. And you started thinking, as the misogynist that you are, you're bored of your wife. You're bored of her sniz. You're bored of your life. You want to fuck other sniz that's out there in this world. We know it's bad out there, but you're seeing what's out there. And when you got together with your wife for the first time and then you started dating, OnlyFans was not a thing. So you're seeing all these OF girls, you're seeing online dating, you got the internet, you got, every time you go open up your phone, a social media app, there's some babe with a BBL and bikini, and you're just inundated with sex and female anatomy and sniz, and it's mocking you, your eyes, your penis, it's out there. You want it. As a misogynist, you want it. But the problem is you treated your wife as an equal. So you start conjuring up this plan. You're like, well, I want to fuck other sniz, but I treat my wife as an equal. So how can I get other sniz without my wife getting upset with me? So you conjure up this plan. Hey, let's do an open marriage. I get to fuck other sniz. You get to fuck other penis. All right, we're equals. We're in this together. You fuck one, I fuck one, and we come back together. That's where you fucked up. What you should have done, you should have leaned in to your misogyny and proposed a threesome with another babe. Bring another babe to you and your wife. Right? But you view your wife as an equal. You know your wife doesn't like sniz. So you didn't propose that, but that should have been your first proposal, because if you had manipulated your wife to allow you to bring another babe into the bedroom, the master bedroom with you and your wife, you'd still have a happy marriage. Now your wife probably wouldn't, been thrilled with the threesome, but maybe she would have done it because she loves you. Right? If you had leaned into the misogyny and tried to get two sniz at one time without a stranger penis in the equation, that is what you should have done. But you didn't. You had to be a postmodernist, equal rights for everybody. No. Lean into the patriarchy. You should have leaned into the patriarchy and not allow any other penis other than your own into, the sex life of you and your wife. And what were you thinking? What were you thinking? Even this other John that your wife wants to have now as a boyfriend. Imagine being married. And again, I've never been in a relationship, so I have to imagine this. So I don't know what this is like. But you're in a relationship, and your girlfriend or your wife comes home and go, yeah, that guy I just fucked, I can see him as a boyfriend. If I were to hear that, I go, oh, so you're breaking up with me. Right? That's a very stern way of saying this relationship is over. When another baby goes, hey, I like the way that guy fucked me, and I view him as a boyfriend, that's a breakup conversation. But no, you're married, you're kids, you can't really do all that right away. I'm not even going to say that other guy who now your wife wants to have as a boyfriend has a better dick than you. There's actually a pretty good chance he doesn't. But the problem is, it's new dick. Similar to us Johns, there's no better pussy than new pussy. It's the same way with dick. I got to imagine. I don't know, but I'm imagining. That guy is fucking your wife for the first time. So maybe his dick ain't as big. Maybe he doesn't have all the moves that you have. But everything he's doing with your wife is new. And it's the first time. So the endorphins are high. And there's all like, hey, can I do it? Your wife doesn't know what he's going to do. He probably had to ask her, hey, is it okay if I come in you or on your face? And he was slapping and he was doing things for the first time. She didn't know what he was doing. So all that first sex energy, it doesn't matter how ferocious you are with your dick, you can't compete with that first time dick because you've been together 10 years. You can't compete with a guy fucking your wife for the first time, even if his dick is subpar compared to yours. You should have thought this out. You should have just went to a hooker on the side without telling your wife. And then realized, oh, I talked about my wife the whole time I was with the hooker, which is what a lot of married men do with hookers, is talk about their wife and then realize how much they love their wife and come running back. That's what you should have done. But you tried to manage this non-monogamous marriage relationship where everyone had equal play in it. And that's the variable that you fucked up. You should not have allowed any other dick inside your wife. Lean into the patriarchy, into your misogyny, and bring a third babe in. No other dick. No, you had to be a feminist. You had to treat your wife as an equal. And that's why you're going to be divorced within 18 months. I don't know. Does that make sense? I understand where he's coming from. I don't blame him. Like, you fuck a sniz for 10 years, even if you have kids with the babe. Sniz is attractive. You want it. Be honest, you didn't want your wife fucking another man or getting fucked by another man. So why did you propose it? Because you're an equal. Because you treated your wife as an equal. What an idiot. What an idiot. Learn. Never treat your wife as an equal when you propose a non-monogamous relationship. Now, if you're monogamous, yes, be equal. 50-50, Dutch, all that, lovey-dovey, what's yours is mine. We're partners. We're together as one unit. But when you're trying to open it up, you can't treat your wife as an equal. You cannot do that. Absolutely no. You're welcome. Also, again, I've never been in a relationship, so maybe I'm out of pocket here. But opening up a relationship 10 years into a relationship, that's a difficult thing to do. Typically, again, I don't know, but I suspect the non-monogamous open relationships that are successful tend to be open from the beginning or somewhere near the beginning. Not 10 years in, two young kids living in the house, sneaking around from bedroom to bedroom with strangers, in your castle. Them are the breaks, though. That's what happened when you treat your wife as an equal. You end up divorced. And seeing your kids every other weekend. Hope you can afford a lawyer. Go suck a fat one.